Okay, so today we discuss about the MSAccess database connectivity with the Python, right? So MSAccess is one of the software to manage the database. MSAccess is available in the Windows operating system easily. Everybody is having that thing, right? So that's why I'm discussing that, right? Now, one thing which is required in any of the database connectivity with Python, the DB API, right? So as you know, for the SQLite 3, we have to import SQLite 3, right? So that is the DB API for the SQLite. Now we are using MSAccess, so that its DB API is different, right? First of first, I would like to show you how we create the database using MSAccess, right? So in the search, write MSAccess. So you got this Access 2016 I am having. Just click on it. Once you click, you have to choose blank desktop database, right? Now you have to provide the name of database, right? And choose some path or folder where you want to store it. So I have created one folder which is my data folder. Okay, so my data, I have selected my data and the name of database which I am going to create. So that is test data, right? So this test data, click on OK. Okay. It is saying that you cannot store in this. So you can store here also test data documents. Right? So test data is the name of database. Then click on create. So when you click on create, you will see this screen. Okay. Now by default, you get the table 1 inside the database. So database name is test data, and the table name is not given here. So just right click on it and click on the design view. Okay, now it is asking for the table name. So here we write the table name. Okay, and then press OK button. Clear? Now what you do, you have to create the fields of table. So it's suppose roll number is there. So roll number is the number. As you know, we are having different database. Here it is MSAccess. So there is a slight difference in the data type. Okay, so here you can drop down it. You can select various data types like short text, long text, number, date type, currency, right? Next is name. So name is by default select the short text. Address. Short text is similar to the varchar. Okay, and age, suppose that it's number. Now what do? You have created your table, that is a schema of the table which contains roll number, name, address and age, and these are the data types. It's very simple. It's a GUI. Now what do? You just cross here and it will ask for the, do you want to save changes to the design of the table, student? Press yes. So when you right click on it, the design view, you are able to see the design view. And when you right click on the open, it will show the browsing of the database. That means it will show the records also. So there are two things. One is design view for changing the schema, or right click open. So here we can store the values, like so this way we can add the things, right? To right. So we have two records inserted. So right click design view we are able to see, and right click open. So it will show the database. Clear? So what is the database here? We saved the database into the file of access. Okay, so where we search that in the documents, we are having the database test data, right? Are you able to see test data here? This one is the test data. When you click on this test data, it will open file which contains student table and which contains the records. Is this clear? So we have created the database in the MSAccess, which contains tables, and tables contains the data. Now this is your test data, right? This file. Now what do? You have to write the Python code to do the connectivity with MSAccess. So for connecting with the MSAccess, we require the DB API. So for this, we have the DB API which is called as PyODBC. So what we have to do, pip install PyODBC, right? So you can do here. So it is showing the requirement already satisfied, right? Because I have done the program earlier, then it is there. If you are new, then you have to install. So one way is to install here. You can write this command, right? Otherwise, what you can do, you can search for the Anaconda prompt, and on the Anaconda prompt, write pip install PyODBC. Okay, so that is the same thing. Clear? From the prompt, you can install the libraries, right? Or you can install through this Jupyter notebook. Now what do? You have to import the pi ODBC. Okay, so it is important because it is already there. Now next step is to create the connection. So con equal to what? Pi ODBC dot connect. So connect method we are having, right? Then we have to create the cursor. So cursor equal to what? Con dot cursor to read all the values which are inserted into the table. Now cursor dot execute. So what we want to execute? Select asterisk from student, right? So this we want to execute. Now actually this cursor or this statement select asterisk from a student return multiple records, right? So for that we have to use the for loop. So write for row in cursor dot, there is a method fetch all. So it will fetch all the data into the row and that we are going to print row. Okay, so this way we can get the values which are in the database table student, right? Now one thing we have to be very careful that here we have not given any path of that file, right? So for the connection, because it is not by default in SQLite 3, we are just writing here the database, like which one? Like we are having the database test DB, test data. So we are having test data dot ACCDB, but as you know, this is the Microsoft Access. So we have to set the driver, right? It will not work until unless you set the driver. So for that, what statement you have to write? So we have to write statement this way: driver equal to what? Microsoft Access driver, right? And the file name is what? Asterisk.mdb. Another ACCDB. What is the meaning of this extension? These are the extension of access file. Clear? Now semicolon. Now you have to write dbq, that is the fixed, and your dbq is a path. So here you have to write the path of the database, right? So for the path we have to select where we have stored the file. So look at this, this is the test data we have stored here, and right click on it, click on properties. So we get the path and we can select this path from here, right? So go back to the path and we can write here. Is this clear? Now, what is the name of database? That is what? Test data. Clear? So we have to write test data. Now, what should be the extension? We are using the new version of Microsoft Access. So it's extension. Look at the extension. This one is extension. .ACCDB. Right? So we have to write ACCDB. Is this clear? then semicolon. So this way we create what? The connection string. Clear? Is there any issue in this? Are you able to see? So first we import the PyODBC. Second one is we have to connect the PyODBC with the connection, and we have to pass this what? Connection string. This is called as connection string, right? And then we open a cursor, and in cursor we use execute method to compute the or to fetch all the data, and we apply the for loop for fetching all the records, right? Right, look at this, we get the answer. Are you able to see? Please reply. I'm not getting any acknowledgement from your side. Okay. So we have inserted this data into the Microsoft Access file, and we get what? The result. I would like to show you again the test data. Test data, right? It is not opening. Actually, we have not closed the connection, so that's why it is somewhat. Look at this, the data in this. 1 GH FDS 23, and we are getting the same 1 GH FDS 23, right? Clear? You have to close it if you want to execute more queries, right? So insert below. I just want to show you how to insert the data in this, right? So cursor dot execute, and the query is what? Insert. So from this Python, we are inserting the data into that file, right? As data student table. So insert into student values, right? We are having two records, so we want to insert third one, the address, and then age. Clear? And one thing is important, that you have to commit the data, okay? Otherwise it will not be entered, right? So I'm just again executing the same code later on, so that you can see that we have inserted. Right, look at this. Third record is inserted into the table. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Now we want to do more insertion, like for suppose like this one. Clear? So we can execute one more time this one, run, and then run, you get this, right? And if you want to check at the MSAccess site, you can do that. Test data, student. Look at this. This is the record which we have installed. Is it visible?
Yes.
Now this is the case of insert. Now we want to update the things. Simple query, cursor dot execute, and in the double quotes pass update. Update what table? Student. If you want to change the name of roll number 1 to something else, so set name equal to what? PGP, suppose, where roll number equal to what? 1. Okay, so what we do? Com dot commit, because every time you are updating the things, so that should be commit, otherwise it will not be saved, because things are done at the buffer side, that is in the RAM. So I would like to show you that will it change or not. Right, look at, in this it is 1 GH, now here 1 PGP. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now one more example so that it will be more clear, that if we want to delete, right, or delete operation. Earlier we have done what? Update operation. Here here it is delete. So what will you do? Cursor dot delete, and what is the syntax? Delete from student. Where, suppose you want to delete record number 2, so where roll number equal to what? 2, and then con dot commit, right? So no, I have written wrong here. It is execute. Fine. So you want to see whether it is deleted or not. So again, we have to fetch the data. Insert below, fetch data, fetch operation. Control B. Look at this, record number 2 is deleted. Clear?
Yes.
So this way we are able to do the database connectivity with different database. One is PyODBC, that is used for what? MSAccess. So it's an implementation of database connectivity of MSAccess with Python, right? The same steps are followed for others also. Suppose you are using Oracle, okay? So you have to install that DB API for that. So you can search on the net that DB API for Oracle. Let's see. Or we can write this way, Oracle database connectivity in Python, right? Okay, so this pip install, are you able to see? This pip install cx underscore Oracle is there, which you have to install, and you have to use the same procedure, right? Same for MySQL. So MySQL, you have to use MySQL dot connector, right? This one. Pip install MySQL connector Python, right? So whatever the database, what you have to do, you have to search for that database API, then you have to install in the Python and then connect. Method is very simple. The same functions are used in all the databases, right? And what we can do here, we can create the tables, we can insert the records, we can update the records, we can delete the records, and we can fetch the records. So all are done using the method like execute and fetch statement. Okay,